the dew in the morning, clear and sublime, touching two worlds, a process through time. A spring starts a lake. The lake, two rivers. One north, the Brule. One south, the St. Croix. For 165 miles, the St. Croix churns and bubbles its uniqueness. No man owns the St. Croix. It is open to use by all. Yet the river is a personal thing, belonging to each man in turn. For the first 100 miles, wilderness crowds the banks. Beaver, deer, and eagles are the inhabitants, and life is measured in a chronology less exact than man's, but more certain. There is a private world known only to the river, where time is not, where past and present blend their boundaries in a light half true. As if part of some strange pagan ritual, those that obtain life from the river offer sacrifice and cover the surface of the waters with the colors of autumn. The way is being prepared. With light that is soft, snow that is deep, life in the river slows. The river steams, filling the air with itself. It is winter. Of the seasons on the St. Croix, spring speaks with the loudest voice. The river gathers in its tributaries and washes winter from the countryside, all green and bursting with life. It is spring. With every spring, man comes, his sounds and smells blending with the chorus, his presence giving it all meaning. Sioux, Chippewa, Nicollet, Sour de Loup. The banks and cutbacks of this river echo its history. The rhythmic slap as voyager and Indian glide the distances to change pelts for beads. Next, a louder and more devastating beat, as strong hands and broad backs swing flashing double-edged blades to strip away the great white pine. In 1920, the land along the upper St. Croix was purchased by Northern States Power Company as a potential source of hydroelectric power for the fast-growing Midwest. Technology moved to fill the need in other ways. NSP still owns the land, its wilderness now guaranteed. The upper St. Croix is one of the few easily accessible wild rivers in this country. A modern canoeist can mark the trail of schoolcraft, build on the coals of Pierre Lasure, and call exciting what they call routine. Tour boat, a dam.
See that large stone face way up high there? A perfect face. That is the most perfect natural stone face in the world. This stretch of rapids runs down into the dells in the St. Croix. The dells has vertical cliffs with water running between. In the dells, the water is very flat, and it's beautiful set out amongst the rocks and all the pine trees. These iron rings you see here in the rock to the right were put there in the logging days to tie up the tugboats, the log rafts, and even large steamboats that came all the way up from New Orleans. Now this is the end of the dell. You'll notice how abruptly the rock or lava flow stops.
The town of Taylor's Falls marks a change in the St. Croix. Nature loosens its grip. Now, until the St. Croix joins the Mississippi, man rules.
Outside corner. He's out of there, and the ball game is over. We'll be back with a wrap-up of today's game.
It's Saturday. Summer on the lower St. Croix. The river becomes a playground. Families fill the state parks. The cities and towns of Minnesota and Wisconsin wash away the week. The ages, like the details of the shore, slip away with the setting sun. For brief moments, there is a timelessness. A loon bears his soul to the dying day and trumpets unsure welcome to the rising moon. Reflections on the waters of St. Croix hint of an ancient communion and testify how a river received its holy name. If the moon on the waters of St. Croix inspires, the rising sun will awe. Morning is the river's own special time. Quiet, serene, but short-lived. From Taylor's Falls to Stillwater, the St. Croix is a river of high banks. Trees to the water, channels, beautiful homes, and possessing the magical ability to fit the whim of the moment.
How's the water? Terrible! Terrible!
The waters of St. Croix, they change and change again. Now the playground for Minneapolis and St. Paul. 1,000 people, 100 craft, all different. Boats up from New Orleans and further. Pontoon boats looking for a picnic beach. Houseboats, fishermen, water skiers. The river fits many purposes. More than to anyone else, rivers, like dogs, belong to boys. They know where the river keeps its secrets, where to put a swing, and what part of the day is best for filling a stringer. The journey ends, but the process continues. The waters of sustained life, given relaxation and taught. Prescott, the waters of St. Croix join with the Mississippi, etching one final trail across the mud of their father. Those who have touched and have been touched by the waters are better for the meeting. Commercial businesses and towns like Stillwater use the waters. An example of how a company can balance the public need with the public good is Northern States Power Company's Allen S. King plant. Built to supply the mill power for the next several decades, demonstrates how industry and recreation can exist side by side. Tests are being conducted with the cooperation of state agencies, and much is being learned about the river. Studies will also determine any effect the plant will have on the atmosphere. Since NSP owns so much of the land along the upper river, it has a responsibility there, too. Sound land management and conservation procedures are being used so the scenic beauty of the St. Croix will be maintained. And the artist's brush will continue to find inspiration along these green shores. all its faces and all the masters it has served, the river is still unowned. And each person can find that which is sought. Feet step softly on sands washed fine. A mood for a soul, a process through time.